Welcome back. Now, January marks the time when many people take steps to improve their health and fitness. And while some may be tempted with fad diets and quick fixes, we're being reminded that making gradual changes are more sustainable and effective in the long run. Well, let's take a look at one gym where they're introducing good habits right from the start. Just a little pop. Step together. Here's our new move. Watch this. We've got bounce, slide, bounce, slide. So tap, slide over, tap. Our goal is to develop a lifelong love of movement in children from an early age, just to get them used to being physical again. It's something that's kind of been lost along the way. Arms up, we'll go punch, punch, then down, down, up, up.
If you don't do exercise, you'll be unhealthy and you could probably die. And if you do lots of exercise, you'll be really healthy and you'll eat lots of food, healthy food like fruit, vegetables.
There's core training, there's punches, kicks, jumps, dance, and there is yoga at the end, and they play games as well, which is really great for kind of just focusing them and bringing that energy. And the younger age groups is more imagination based, so we're still physical and we're still moving about, but we do it through sort of stories and themes, and we just get them active that way.
Even though this is standing still, well, not really standing still, like in one room, it still makes you puffed out. You know, like it's not only kids that can do stuff like this, adults like also can do this as well.
You need to be healthy from the start, because then by the time you're older, it could be too late. And also, if you're a bit overweight when you're a child, you might be too overweight when you're older.
Down, kick, stop. And it is just, again, to instill that lifelong love of movement, and that's what's going to keep them coming back to exercise when they're younger, but also as they get older, you know, they will dip away from it and come back in, and I think that's just the way of life. But if they remember it from when they're young and how they felt about it then, I think they're going to be more likely to stick with it when they're older. Well, joining me now is personal trainer Jordan McCulloch and Julie Orr, who's an adult nursing lecturer from the University of the West of Scotland. Welcome both of you to the studio.
Hi.
Coming to you first of all, Jordan, we know that children aren't doing enough exercises. What kind of small changes can they make in their lives to do more?
Definitely. Although I'm a personal trainer now, I myself was overweight as a child, and it wasn't until I was 15 until I got into exercise. So I think there's some real simple things that can be done. So for instance, there's a lot of things that schools do at the moment, trying to get people to walk to school, parents to ditch the car, drinking water, and maybe swapping some of the sweet treats for fruit.
So apart from the obvious kind of health benefits, what other kind of benefits are there to leading a healthy, active lifestyle?
I think nowadays there's a lot of technology around for children, so I think the most important thing is probably sociability, so getting to work with each other. And in the clip you just saw, it helps them to develop greater motor skills as well, working on coordination and balance, and also it's good for their self-esteem, because as time goes on and with the class that you just saw, as they come back we can really develop and they grow from it.
And you mentioned there, Jordan, your own personal experience of being overweight. What difference has it made to your life to be healthier and be fitter?
I think probably just that. As an overweight teenager, probably didn't have much self-confidence or self-esteem, and probably from a sociability thing. So yeah, it just gives you the confidence to get out there and get active.
So coming to Julie, you work with a different group of people, and you're the leader of the Fitness Intervention Task Force at University of West of Scotland, and this is kind of following on from research that's shown that 70% of nurses in Scotland are overweight. So why did the university decide to take action on this?
I think really we were concerned, my colleagues and I, Sue McGrowther, Marie McCaig and Chris Topping, just worried that the number of students that were coming to us and saying, you know, we don't meet government recommendations for exercise and diet, and we thought here we are in a prime position to do something about it. So we wanted to, in a subtle way, encourage nurses to raise physical activity awareness across themselves, but also out with in their placements and in communities.
So the nursing students themselves are learning about health and fitness, but they're also teaching in the community as well.
Yeah.
So what is it about nursing that's kind of seen this trend? I mean, obviously the work shift patterns, it's a stressful job. Why nursing?
Yeah, I think that really fits with the recent research that says that 68% of Scottish women are actually overweight and obese. So I think because it's predominantly a female profession, that doesn't surprise me. However, nurses are so busy caring and looking after their patients that sometimes they forget to look after themselves. And as you say, shift work, they maybe skip meal times because they're with their patients and then are tired, working long shifts, and they don't have time maybe to go and exercise. So that could be some of the reasons.
So what difference do you hope that this programme will make?
I think, and research that we're doing into that has actually shown that it's increasing physical activity within the student nurses themselves. They're going out into their placements as registered nurses, and they're now more actively promoting physical activity. And we've had some great case stories of students who've lost weight and have started exercising that hadn't considered it before.
So they're getting a real positive outcome from it.
Yeah.
So coming back to you, Georgia, we talked a bit about kids, but what about adults who are maybe stuck in a routine, or they find themselves in a job like nursing where it's difficult to find the time to exercise? What kind of tips and advice do you have for them?
So I think the most important thing nowadays is that obviously if we take nurses for example, they do work shifts, and long shifts, so that it's really hard for them to get time and the motivation to go. I think at this time of year, I would suggest that people make small changes. If you go drastic, you're probably only going to last a couple of days or a couple of weeks. So small changes, for instance, ditching your really calorific coffee at your favourite coffee house and getting something less calorific, drinking more water, getting some walking in there. I mean, a lot of people underestimate how much we'll drive about these days. So I think small changes together add up to a big change.
And what about, there might be some people who are, afraid of actually the gym, and it's just the scariness of going into a gym that kind of puts them off. Is there other options out there?
There's lots of other options, but I would definitely suggest that working in a health club myself, that we've got lots of trained people there to help and be on hand to make it a little bit less daunting.
So, Julie, tell me a little bit more about your success stories that you've had from the programme so far.
Yeah, well, we've had one ex-student who's now a staff nurse. Her and her partner lost 10 stone between them, and she now has come back to us and tells us that she actively promotes physical activity out in her job as a staff nurse. We've had another student who was an ex-Mediterranean chef, so he's produced a DVD, how to eat healthily on a budget. So there's been lots of things. A lot of students have said they're now have increased their confidence levels, so they're able to then, and they've got the knowledge and the skills to go out and promote exercise to patients.
So, Georgian, how do we keep this going? Obviously, it's January now, these kind of programmes are excellent, but how do we ensure that people are continuing these healthy routines for the whole year?
That's a good question, and it works different for everybody. Again, just as Julie said, I think it's about making small changes that you can keep tabs on and you can keep up. And I would suggest, rather than going drastic, as I said before, that as time goes on and you are sticking to whatever routine you've set, that you can maybe start to increase it and progress it a little bit further.
So you can build on that kind of experience.
Yeah.
So if you just had one piece of advice, your best piece of advice, what would it be, Jordan?
My best piece of advice, having done this for a number of years, is start small. Start small, make small changes that are achievable to you, and you will definitely start to see the change.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Very inspirational stuff. Thank you very much for joining us, Julie and Jordan. Thank you. Now remember, you can get in touch with us if there's a story that you think we should know about or an issue that you want us to highlight. Then you can contact any of our reporters by email, through Facebook or through Twitter. And that's it for the moment. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on our website, stv.tv/news. But from all of us here in the STV News team, do enjoy the rest of your evening. Goodbye for now.